Hello, and welcome to the Dull Narrator. Today, I will be telling you a story so remarkably uneventful, so impressively ordinary, that it may gently guide your mind into a state of calm, stillness, or perhaps a very pleasant nap. This is the story of Mr. Harold Pennington, a man whose life was neither exciting nor dramatic, but wonderfully, beautifully boring. So, settle in, adjust your pillow or your chair, and prepare yourself for a long, peaceful journey into pure, uninterrupted dullness. Let us begin. Chapter 1. A Morning Not Worth Mentioning. Harold Pennington woke up at precisely 6:42 a.m., just like he did every single day. Not 6:40, not 6:45, but 6:42. He didn't use an alarm clock. His body simply followed this schedule without any conscious effort, as if he were synchronized with some unseen universal rhythm that no one else cared about. He stretched his arms, but not too much, just enough to acknowledge that the day had begun. He sat on the edge of his bed for about 11 seconds, sometimes 12, but today it was 11. He slid his feet into his slippers, which were slightly worn at the edges after 5 years of consistent use. They were not too soft, not too stiff, and perfectly adequate for walking around his modest apartment. Harold shuffled to the kitchen for his daily breakfast routine. 1 slice of unbuttered toast and exactly 5 spoonfuls of room-temperature oatmeal. Not hot, not cold, just there. He ate in silence, staring at the wall that was painted a color most people would describe as off-white, but the manufacturer insisted on calling Antique Cloud No. 7. Harold didn't care. It was just a wall. Chapter 2. The Walk to Nowhere in Particular. At 7:15 a.m., Harold left his apartment for his daily walk. He took the same path every morning, a quiet route through a neighborhood where nothing unusual ever seemed to happen. There was Mr. Thornberry watering the same patch of grass that never appeared to grow any taller or greener. Harold nodded to him. Mr. Thornberry nodded back. No words exchanged, just mutual acknowledgement of their ongoing existence. Harold passed a bus stop where a bus always arrived 3 minutes later than the schedule promised. He had never taken the bus, but he enjoyed predicting how late it would be. Today, he guessed 2 minutes and 54 seconds. He was very close. A gentle breeze drifted across the street, carrying the faint scent of freshly printed flyers from the nearby post office. Harold appreciated the smell without finding it remarkable. A single leaf fell from a tree. Not quickly, not slowly, just an average leaf falling at an average speed. And Harold continued walking. Chapter 3. The Grocery Store That Always Felt the Same. Harold's next stop was the grocery store. He didn't actually need anything, but he liked walking down the aisles to make sure everything was exactly as he remembered. It always was. He walked past the canned vegetables, same labels, same prices, same cans. He paused to look at the cereal section, not because he wanted cereal, but because he liked to check whether the boxes had been organized alphabetically. Today, they were not. This brought Harold a mild feeling of concern, but only mild. Then he visited aisle 7, where the cleaning products were stored. Harold didn't need anything from aisle 7 either, but he did enjoy the faint chemical smell that lingered there. It reminded him of nothing in particular. He left the store without buying a single item, feeling a sense of quiet satisfaction that everything remained as typically uneventful as always.
Chapter 4. The Letter with Absolutely No Surprises. When Harold returned home, he checked his mailbox. Inside, he found a single envelope addressed to him. The handwriting looked familiar, perfectly average, standard cursive, nothing exciting. He brought it inside, sat at his small wooden table, and opened it carefully, making sure not to tear any part of the envelope unnecessarily. Inside was a letter from the Department of Water and Utilities. It informed him that his monthly water bill had increased by exactly 3 cents. Not $3, not 30, just 3 cents. Harold read the letter twice to confirm. He felt neither upset nor pleased, just informed. He folded the letter back along its original crease, slid it into the envelope, and placed it neatly in his drawer labeled "Important but not urgent." He then sighed a sigh of someone who had processed a perfectly unremarkable piece of governmental correspondence. Chapter 5. Afternoon Tea and a Thought Not Worth Remembering. At 2 p.m., Harold made himself a lukewarm cup of tea. He didn't steep it long enough for any real flavor to appear, just enough for the water to take on the faintest hint of color. Harold sat in his favorite chair, which was not especially comfortable but reliably predictable, and took slow sips. As he stared at the window, he had a thought. It was not a profound thought, nor a strange one. It was the kind of thought that enters the mind and then leaves without demanding attention. Harold forgot the thought almost immediately. He continued sipping. Chapter 6. The Rest of a Quietly Uneventful Day. Harold spent the rest of the afternoon organizing papers that were already organized. He dusted a shelf that had no visible dust. He rearranged 3 pens on his desk, even though they were perfectly aligned to begin with. He looked through the window to watch a flock of pigeons. They were not doing anything unusual, just being pigeons, and Harold enjoyed their predictability. As evening approached, he prepared a dinner consisting of boiled potatoes and plain steamed vegetables. He ate quietly, thinking of nothing in particular. Chapter 7. A Night as Quiet as the Day. At 9 p.m., Harold dimmed the lights and prepared for bed. He brushed his teeth for exactly the recommended duration according to the box of his toothbrush. He checked the lock on his door, twice, not out of fear, but habit. He slipped under the covers, feeling the familiar weight of an ordinary blanket on an ordinary night. As he closed his eyes, he felt neither excitement nor disappointment, just calm. Harold drifted into sleep, much like he lived his day, quietly, smoothly, and without anything out of the ordinary. Outro.
And that was the remarkably uneventful life of Mr. Harold Pennington. If this story helped you relax, clear your mind, or drift gently toward sleep, then the Dull Narrator has done its job. Thank you for allowing me to share this thoroughly boring journey with you. Good night, or good rest, wherever you are.